He looked up at me when I told him and had tears in his eyes. I left 2 days later, and as I was saying my goodbyes to the staff on this makeshift baseball field in the middle of nowhere, the kid stayed and waited, and as I was finished with the staff, he came and we shook hands, and he spoke no English, and I spoke no Spanish, but the Word of God transcends language, and I told this kid, I'll be back. Year after year, from now until the earthly end of me, I will be back, and for more than baseball. My heart yearns to help these kids. Now that's the story. Now imagine you're a 15-year-old kid in the Dominican Republic. You have no father. You have no money. You have no education. You have no prospects. And you're destined to live in a life of poverty that will most likely be short. And then you will die. And then one day, the president of the San Francisco Giants comes along, the vice president of the San Francisco Giants comes along, and he looks at you and says to you, I think you've got what it takes. You come follow me. What would you do? What would you do? Would you say, no thanks. I think I'll just stay right where I am. I mean, you'd drop everything. You would run with tears in your eyes. And that's exactly the dynamic that's going on here when this rabbi who's unlike every other rabbi, any other rabbi you've ever heard about or dreamed about, comes to James and John, who's still working with their dad, by the way, and that means that given the way the education system worked in Israel, and the fact that they were living and working with their father, most likely they're probably, high school age kids, 15, 16-year-old boys, maybe even younger. Most of the disciples are. Jesus is 30, and disciples are generally much younger, and they're like kids, and they know that they're not rabbi material. They're washed out. They're not spiritual enough. They're not smart enough. They gave up on that dream a long time ago, and then this rabbi comes along one day, not just any rabbi, the rabbi with authority, the rabbi with healing in his wings, and he says, you know what? I believe in you. I want you to be my disciple. I believe you have what it takes. And so here's the deal. You come follow me. And what I know, I'm going to teach you. And what I do, you're going to do. I mean, no wonder they left their nets. No wonder. And now he's here. And he says, and I want you. And I want you. And I want you. And I want you. And now you have a choice to make. Will you drop everything? Will you drop everything and follow him? That means maybe leave your job. Maybe not. Maybe you're called to a neighborhood. Maybe he calls you to go someplace else. I don't know what that means for you. But there's a choice to make. And the rabbi comes and he says, I want you to be my Talmid. Which means that from this moment on, the number one goal in your life is to be with me. Every moment. To learn from me how to become like me and to live under the care and love of this God who loves you more than you could possibly imagine. And maybe you think you don't believe in him enough yet. But you know what? He believes in you. That's what the story of the call of the disciples is all about. The amazing thing is not that they would believe in Jesus. The amazing thing is that Jesus believed in them. And then in you. And even in me. That's the amazing thing. And maybe Maybe you've never made that choice before, and this is your day to say, all right, Jesus, from this day I want to follow you, and I want to be your follower, and I want to make you the number one goal of my life, and I don't want to come to know your word, and I want to come to know the Father as I pray, and not just when I come to church, or not just when I'm in life group, but every moment of my life, when I wake up and when I go to sleep. I want to leave my nets. I'm going to leave my tax stand. I'm going to leave everything. I'm going to follow you. And maybe today that's you. You decided to believe and follow the one who believes and has called you to follow him. The Rabbi is calling. And that's the most important thing right now. He's calling you, calling me. And he's calling us to walk with him. Not just someday, but today, every moment of this day and every day for the rest of our lives. And he's also going to send us out every week, maybe to the Dominican Republic, to a makeshift baseball field in the middle of nowhere, because he does that with his disciples. And maybe he'll send you too, maybe to your neighborhood, maybe to your school, maybe to your office, maybe to your home, maybe to Eugene, maybe to Springfield, maybe to Mexico, maybe, who knows? Who knows? He sends his Talmidim out all over the place, everywhere, all the time. And we will do what Jesus did, and we'll pray as Jesus prayed, and we'll proclaim the good news about Jesus, and we will love the lonely, and we will help the poor, but we don't do it alone. There's a great prayer that goes back to Jesus' day, and it was a blessing that was given to Talmidim. That was given to the Talmidim about their disciples, and this is what was prayed about the rabbis, the Talmidim about the rabbis, and this is what was prayed for these disciples. The prayer was, "May you be covered by the dust of your rabbi." Isn't that something? May you follow so closely with your rabbi, because they lived in a dusty world, right? May you follow so closely with your rabbi that when his feet kick up the dust, you are so close to him that the dust covers you. May you never be out of his sight. May you never be someplace where you can't hear him speak to you. For all of us who are the Talmidim of Christ, that's our prayer. May you be covered with the dust of your rabbi. That's what I came to say. And if this morning, maybe you get it for the first time, and you're ready to follow him because he's saying, hey, how about you? You follow me? You ready to answer that call? You ready to find healing in his wings? You ready to follow the rabbi with power, the rabbi with healing, the rabbi with authority? And this is your day. Jesus extends the call, not me. He says, follow me. Will you follow? The choice is yours. You can come if you're ready. Let's stand and sing.